Good morning,
That's
King
all
Peter.
right. Yeah, good morning.
He built a house on sinking sand. Was no way the house could ever stand. And when the rain came down, he tried.
Thank you all so much for joining this morning. I am Rev Greta Sesheta. This is the Sanctuary of the Spirit. It is a part of 7-Pointed Star Ministries. And we're on every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on Zoom and Facebook and YouTube. If you would like to join us on Zoom, please email me at revgreta@me.com and I will send you the link. That was Ricky Byers singing Labor in Vain, and that is our topic for today. And I love the song and the place that Ricky always sings from. Always delighted to use her as the beginning of our services because she sets the tone so well. And I welcome you here. I'm delighted that you're here. And as we usually do, I would like to just center us in an opening prayer, an evocation of the Spirit that is already within us. We give thanks for this glorious day, for this magnificent life, for this wondrous way of being, of knowing God aright, of realizing that there is one power and presence that's expressing everywhere. It's not a force, it's a power, and it's a power that is eternally good, always wise, always loving, everywhere expressing. And each one of us is one with it. Each one of us is an instrument for it. Each one of us is created out of this power and presence that is good and only good. I give thanks for this opportunity for us to gather in just this way, wherever we are, whatever time it is, whatever space we're in. The presence of God is all that there is. And we are here in celebration. And this morning, as our musical inspiration, we're so blessed to have LaVon Hardison with us. So grateful for her heart and the place that she sings from, the way that the Spirit of God expresses through and as her, which is unique and wonderful and true of each one of us. So we gather together here in this space, trusting and knowing that everything that we do is to the glory of God and that all is well. And for this and for so much more, I'm eternally grateful and thankful. And I just let it be so by saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you again for joining. Those of you with me here on Zoom, on Facebook, on YouTube, I'm grateful and thankful.
Recording.
Oh, yes. Thank you for the voice of Spirit speaking to me, reminding me to record this so that other people can see it at some time away. And this morning, we are blessed, as I've said, to have LaVon Hardison with us as our musical inspiration. She has a beautiful song to open with. It feels like a kind of meditation to me. LaVon, what is the name of the song?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Rev Greta. The name of the song is called Reflections, and I've sung another song for y'all from this same person. Their name is Brent Pendleton, and I will put their info in the chat so you can go and listen to more of his songs. He is writing a lot of new thought songs, and they're just really inspirational and quite wonderful. And this does feel like a meditation. Yeah. Reflections of one infinite mind and the power for good in the knowledge of the truth, connected in this circle of light where the spark of the soul meets the wisdom of the stars. God is in through all around us. God is mind. Reflections of one infinite mind, and the power for good in the knowledge of the truth. Awakened eyes see heaven on earth. In the stillness within, we are guided by the light. God is in through all around us. God is in through all around us. God is in through all around us. One universal mind.
So beautiful, Levon. That's called Reflections.
All Reflections, and you can find that on his webpage along with some other really wonderful songs.
Thank you. I will go and listen. Thank you so much. Oh, that really set the tone for today. Just her voice is so soothing and beautiful, isn't it? I'm grateful to be with you again this morning. Last time we met was the topic was Stop in the Name of Love. And it's all about love's intervention, its rescue mission, the way it comes to catch us and tells us to stop what it is that we're doing that is not serving our highest and move in another direction. The selected reading this morning is, I think of it as short and sweet. It's kind of shorter than some of the things that I have shared, but it was right on point for what I wanted to share today, and even more so I realized this morning that I'll share more about that as we go along. But this is called The Power of Silence, and it's written by Daoud David Metahai Jones. And he starts with this piece from the Bible. And so I'm going to just paraphrase it just a little bit because some of the words are not so familiar with what we use these days. But this is from 1 Kings, the 6th chapter, the 7th verse. And it's talking about building a house. And he says, "And the house, when it was being built, was made of stones. And the stones had been cut and shaped and smoothed out before they were brought to the place where the house was to be built." He said that the verse says, "So that there was no sound of hammer or axe or any other tool of iron could be heard in this house while it was being built." So in other words, it was quiet while this construction was going on. So this is what Daoud Jones writes. He says, "Here in 1 Kings, we find a powerful image and a model for the true work of every spiritual being. Our work does not consist of the conferences we attend, the malas that we wear, or the bumper stickers that we put on our cars. It is inner work. And to build the temple, that superstructure of truth and love that is the fruit of steady, unerring practice, silence is necessary. I invite you to enter into the stillness of the temple of your own heart. The work to be done is not the showy, noisy kind. In the space of meditation, in the deep stillness, let us prepare and polish the stones of consciousness until they raise a mighty temple. Our lives will then be a living monument to the infinite power, love, and grace of the Lord. And his affirmation is words from the Bible and also a song that we sing in the Agape community. All that I need is within me. This my soul knows right well. I use the power of silence to access and to build my inner temple. I'm surrounded by the love and the power of God. And so it is. So to what degree are you surrounded by the love and the power of God? Like, can you feel that? How do you relate to that? Where are you when it comes to being aware that you are surrounded by the presence and power of the love of God? Tomorrow is Labor Day, and it's a national pause button that is pushed for the whole country, and we celebrate the idea of labor, of honest work for an honest wage and good working conditions. But no matter what if we're celebrating freedom or love or whatever it is, it's a day to stop and a day to celebrate. And many of us have great plans for that celebration, but to switch off all the rushing and the striving and the trying and the hurrying, scurrying to destinations that we're not even sure we really want to reach. It's that rat wheel kind of idea. But it's a day to step back from the assembly line of anxiety or wherever it is that you find stress that seems to be everywhere present these days, and to really ask, what kind of a house am I building for myself? And in this case, we think of the house as being a metaphor for the consciousness, the place that we dwell, the place that we live, our consciousness, what we are aware of. What kind of a space am I building? And am I building it in the quiet as reading in the scripture, or am I building it out in space where everybody knows and making a big hoopla of the whole thing? The song says, the song that Ricky wrote, Ricky Byers. Many of you I know know me from the Agape community, but Ricky Byers is a dear friend, and she was a music director for so many years, and she and Reverend Michael Beckwith wrote a lot of songs together. But she wrote this song called Labor in Vain that we used to sing, and she says, he built a house on sinking sand. There was no way the house could ever stand. And when the rains came down, he tried to hold things together, but finally cried, just let the Lord build the house and don't labor in vain. So this, again, the idea of creating our consciousness, which is a choice that we have, creating a space, because our consciousness determines what we experience in the world, how it looks to us, what it sounds like and feels like. It's all based upon the lens that we're looking out of that's created by our consciousness, our sense of awareness. And so this person in the song that built his house on sinking sand instead of on solid ground, instead of the rock of foundation. Well, how many times have you found yourself in a similar situation where you've been striving for something and all of a sudden you realize the whole thing is just falling apart because there wasn't a firm foundation for it, because it wasn't rooted in the Spirit. And so we're chasing after these, ideas of celebrity and TikTok fame and approval of other people and things that really are all about otherness. They're other directed, external directed, outside of and away from who we are. Rooms that are filled in the house of just trying to make it or just trying to fit in, just trying to get over. When we see that something comes, the fires, the storms of life, the hurricanes, the earthquakes, the crises, the things that shake us up. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, here I am. And when, what's going to happen? What can I do? Where is my safety? Where is my protection? Where is my direction? We have built an awareness on all those things that glitter, but are not precious gold. They appear to be, they're gold leaf. We put our consciousness, our awareness on things that don't really matter, that aren't really aligned with truth or that which is eternal. So all the things that I'm trying to do, my visions for my life, my mission, my goals, and writing my books and acting my roles and being a minister and all of these things, all of it is for nothing if it's not based on the something that is the real deal, the real thing, which is the presence of God. So the master teacher promised, he said, "In my Father's house are many mansions. And if it were not so, I would have told you." There are many places and spaces in the field of infinite possibilities. But what are the spaces that we are choosing? There are many different rooms available, rooms of peace and chambers of joy, sanctuaries of love and halls of wisdom. But are we choosing a torture chamber, a patio of panic, some kind of a house of horrors that's somewhere else, somewhere other than where the presence of God is? This is the 127th Psalm that says, "Except the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain who build it." And this means that any effort towards building a house or any endeavor that we are trying, if God's blessings and God's guidance and God's direction are not the foundation of it, then it all comes to nothing. It can't stand. So this is really highlighting the importance of trusting in God for success and for fulfillment in any endeavor, in your family, in your business, in your relationship, in your health. That true success and fulfillment only come from being in alignment with the divine. It's about allowing our consciousness to build the house. So, in this world of AI, of artificial intelligence, we forget about the power of divine intelligence. And there always are, at the bottom of all the artificial intelligence, it always says AI can make mistakes. So check the information that you have. But divine intelligence only knows itself, and no mistakes were made in God. And divine intelligence, where it resides, is in the heart. It is in the heart where the love of the presence and the power of God is expressed through and as us. This heart that is some kind of a miracle muscle that knows when and how to beat without any instructions. It's the heart where the sanctuary of the Spirit is built. And not with a lot of noise, but in the silence, in the quiet. When David wrote in the 23rd Psalm, he said, I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Not a house that's some far way off, but the house where we live and breathe and have our being. I'll dwell there forever, not just for a moment when I'm in a foxhole and I'm worried, but always in this house of peace and harmony and wholeness and oneness. But we all need time, sometimes to get away from it all, and that's what happens with a national holiday. We get to just stop everything, we get to relax, we get to rest. That's a good thing. I'm not saying that it isn't. People are looking forward to the so-called 3-day holiday. So any excuse is a good reason for that, to be able to get off the rat wheel. So we get to have a good time. But what I'm suggesting for tomorrow, which is the big Labor Day, to make sure that you take some time to consider the house that you're building, to consider the foundation that you are creating for yourself, as opposed to chasing after those things that look glittery and wonderful. But the presence of God glows. It is authentic. It is real. It is precious. The most precious thing that you can imagine is a space where you allow yourself to live and to have your being. So there's an opportunity to think of this holiday as a day of sacred pause, or a time to take a pause, to take a break that really does refresh and really does renew you, to get right with yourself. Maybe to stop trying to force things and to make things come out the way you want them to. Really to stop laboring in vain and to let God's will be the way, as opposed to your willpower. We talked some time ago about 2 different cells of a heart that were put in 2 different petri dishes in a laboratory, and how after some time both of the cells began to beat according to the same rhythm. And the heart within you has the same power to beat with the eternal presence, to unite you. And that heart is quietly beating. It's not blasting in the data. It's speaking in our dreams. It's speaking with a soft and silent voice, guiding you. This is the way. Walk you in it. And you can hear it when you get quiet and still enough. But you can't really hear it in the midst of all the fireworks and the other things that are going on. You can find that sense of rhythm within the quiet of yourself. So I don't know, this heart is we talked about it being the first organ that forms in your body, so that there is a way to pump the nutrients, the oxygen, the elements through the body. And they do heart transplants now, which is a wonderful way of saving lives. And it points up the idea of how precious a heart is and how needed it is, not only just for the beating but for the blessing. It's something that you really don't want to leave home without. Joanna Macy said, your heart, when it breaks open, can hold the whole universe. The whole universe. It can hold the heartaches and the hopes and the joys and the sorrows, everything. Your heart can do the heavy lifting, and it does it for you and through and as you. Rumi said, "Let the beauty of what you love be what you do." So what does that mean? That when we build our consciousness, our habitual way of being on a foundation of the things that we really love and that are loving, rather than basing it on what we think we should be loving or what we think we should have, we understand what it means to be what we love, to do what we love. So there's a difference between laboring in vain and doing what you are called to do, building what you are called to build on a firm foundation. Your consciousness is cause. Your consciousness is a choice. And it's a choice that you make in the silence of your heart. And I just have to say that this morning, I always do the centering that I talked to you about a couple of weeks ago, the grounding in the center of the earth and extending my crown to the center of the heavens and anchoring myself there. And usually, in some order that just kind of comes to me, I pray the Lord's Prayer. I pray or say the 23rd Psalm. I pray or say the Beatitudes. Some kind of way that seems to anchor me and to settle me and to center me. But this morning, when I went to do that, I found myself with my hands on my heart space, which I often do that anyway when I'm saying these things in whatever order I say, but I couldn't say anything. This morning I could only be quiet. And I had the impulse, I'm not saying them out loud, I'm saying them quietly to myself, but this morning there wasn't anything to be said. It was all about the silence and the stillness, and I just let myself be there. And I just let myself be open and receptive to that. And I knew that it was what I was meant to do. That there's something in the silence that I can't even get in my prayers. And I always, in the morning after I have said the Lord's Prayer and the 23rd Psalm and the Beatitudes, I pray for people that I pray for, people that have asked me to pray for them, and people that I just want to pray for, people that, everywhere, for in this life, all of us with the things that we're going through. But I found that all that I needed to do was just in the quiet, those people were there. They were just there without me thinking of them or saying their name. They were just in the quiet. And I know it sounds so crazy because being quiet and still just sounds like nothing. But it was everything. And, I'm looking aware of the time because I usually have a certain amount of time to do this before I get up and I prepare for the service or whatever I'm going to do. But the time just kind of dissolved or evolved just into what was. And I didn't feel like it was over and done, but I just moved into the next thing of getting ready for the next thing. And I'm just sharing this because when I saw the reading this morning about the power of silence and how short it was, I didn't realize that I was going to experience the power of silence. And it wasn't a whole long time. Maybe in our way of thinking about it, maybe it was 15 minutes. I mean, I don't know. But what I am suggesting to you is, on this day of don't do your usual things, find a quiet space and time to be with your own heart that is beating just for you, that is the vehicle and the instrument for the love of God, that you want to build a consciousness out of, and allow yourself just to be there. Not to be expecting anything to happen, bells, whistles, anything, but just to be in the quiet space. And that, I know you're going to discover something wonderful. I don't know what it'll be for you, but it will be exactly what is meant for you. And it will help with the establishment of your consciousness that you really do depend on and count on for this life that you're living. So I didn't know that was exactly where I was going to go this morning, but it was really important. And I guess in the same mode, I wanted to share something else that happened yesterday that had to do with consciousness, and that is that, you know, I often have flowers here. Sometimes I have orchids. I have a lot of orchids, and I care for them, and I water and I feed them, and sometimes they get these little mealy bugs that I really don't like to see. I mean, I don't really see them so much, but I see little places, little pieces of white cotton or something, and I have to take alcohol and rub the mealy bugs off of the leaves of the orchids. And a couple of them have stopped living, of course, and some of them I've had for a long time. But I was looking, and as I was watering, and I found one that the leaves were very kind of limp, and the roots were kind of dry, and there were some mealy bugs on there, and I thought, oh, this plant is getting ready to die. And you know, I watered it, but you know, here's mealy bugs. I'm gonna put this out in the recycle container, you know, with the grass and the shrubbery and stuff where you put things, because it's not going to survive, and I'll just go on. And so I took the plant and I went outside and I opened the bin and I put it down in with the grass, and I closed the lid, and I turned to come back into the house, and I just saw the plant there in the bottom of the bin with the grass, and I thought, I just can't leave it like that. I can't just leave it to be trash. And so I went back and I opened the bin and I reached down and I pulled out the plant and I brought it back inside and I wiped the mealy bugs off. And I put it on the table with the other orchids so that it can live as long as it's meant to live. And I know that sure sounds crazy, but my heart wouldn't let me do that, wouldn't let me leave it, wouldn't let me desert it. And I'm wondering where your line is, where you say, oh, I can't do that. I was going to do that because it seemed like the thing to do, but I just can't. And wherever that place is, plants or food or remedies or disaster, wherever the line is for you, wherever your heart says, wait a minute, honor that in yourself. That is a sensitivity. And people used to tell me, oh, Greta, don't be so sensitive about things. Sensitivities are precious. They are a wondrous way that we express, that we feel things. So honor, somebody said, when your heart speaks, take good notes. Honor the guidance that you get. Honor the still, small, quiet whispers, the little nudges of things that say, don't go this way, go this way. Because that is your connection. When your heart speaks, it's speaking through the connection that you have with the divine. And the more you honor it and appreciate it, the more it grows and blesses you to be the blessing that you are. So follow your heart. Follow the guidance. Take the time to be still and to know. And tomorrow, however you decide to celebrate, might be with a bunch of people, might be with a barbecue or a concert or something. Enjoy it. Have a great time. And take the time to be with yourself and with the quiet and with your own heart, in your own heart space. Not to get anything or learn anything or understand anything, but just to honor that you can take that space for yourself and that time for your space, and you can experience it for whatever it means for you. And in all the ways that you can, don't labor in vain. Don't chase after things that are of no account and have nothing to do with your own fulfillment. Let the Spirit within you build the house, heal the body, reunite the people that are separate from you. Whatever the good is that your heart desires, allow your heart to show you how it's done. So the question that I asked in the very beginning was how you feel about being surrounded by the love and the power of God. How do you feel about that right now? Just be aware if there's been any change or any shift in how you feel. And, as a way of balancing everything out, as we started with an evocation, I'd like to just conclude with an evocation with a prayer of thanksgiving and praise for this day and this life and for this way of life, for all the ways that the Spirit of God is expressing through and as every one of us, even the protection and the perfection of what this feels like, raspiness in my voice. I know that I hear and that the I am of each of us hears exactly what we are meant to hear. The perfection of the presence of God in, through, and as everything. The power that is God, the intelligence, the divine intelligence that is never wrong, that only knows itself and only knows its own creation as itself. And that includes every one of us, each one of us. So different and unique and special, all of us created out of one divine blueprint of love and harmony and peace and prosperity, forgiveness and compassion, unity, equality. The presence of God is expressing through and as each one of us now. And as we take the time make the space to feel it, to allow it, to align with it, each of us is lifted into the higher realms of consciousness. The master teacher said, if you exalt anything to a high place, it is done already. Our prayers are already answered as we know that they are answered. The presence of God is already loving us, guiding and protecting and healing us. Already, we get to accept that this is so. As sure as the heart within is beating, the Spirit of God is loving us. It is our nature to love one another. This nature doesn't go against anything. It is more than anything. Our sensitivities, our awareness, our willingness, our innocence, our purity, the gifts of the presence of God expressing through and as us wipes clear any misunderstanding, any mistakes that we picked up along the way, any misinformation. All of it vanishes into the nothingness because we are done with it. Because our intention is on the will and the way of God. And we give thanks for this. We accept the blessings, we accept the love, we accept the support, the guidance, the direction, and the protection. Right here in the middle of whatever chaos is going on the outside, on the inside, we know that God is more than this. And we just let that be. We let it be by being grateful and thankful, acknowledging our appreciation that God is still being God. And so we simply say, and so it is. And so it is. Amen. Thank you for letting me share with you. Levon has a great song for us. Because I know. Yeah, what is it, Levon?
Don't be talking about the plant. I had to take the plant out, and I'm now feeling my feelings around the plant now.
That was my craziness. It doesn't have to be it was my sensitivity around it, and I'm just thankful for it. I'm not telling anybody how they have to feel about their plants. Trust me, I'm not.
Oh, exactly, but I just had that feeling this morning. I was like, oh, okay, so I accept the message.
All right. Thank you, Levon.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all these chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say them loud, say them clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that everyone should be free. I wish I could give all I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I can do, though I'm way overdue. I'll be starting anew. I wish I could be like a bird up in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea, and then I'd sing, 'cause I know, yes I'd sing, 'cause I know, yes I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels. I know how it feels, yes I know how it feels. I know how it feels, yes I know how it feels. I know just how it feels. I know just how it feels. I know just how it feels to be free.
I love it. I know how it feels to be free when I get to be me, the real me. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me be myself.
Yes. Woo, sing it. Thank you, Levon. Love you so much. Oh, thank you all for being here, for joining. Thank you for supporting this ministry and the way that works for you. Just so grateful that you allow me to continue to bring this message and to share the musicians that bring the message with their song. Grateful and thankful for your participation, for sharing this ministry, and for supporting us. Thank you so much for that. Well, I guess you have your marching orders for tomorrow. Have a great time and take a few precious moments for yourself to be in the silence and in the stillness and let the Lord build the house. Thank you. God bless you. I love you. I know that something is wonderful happening, that there is a shift in consciousness, and that we are all rising in God. So have a wonderful week. Thank you, my dear friends on Facebook, on YouTube, people here on Zoom. I'd love for you to add in the chat box or the comment box any question or response to the things that you heard or experienced today. I really have been praying for the people that have been requesting prayer. If you have a prayer request, please type it in the chat or the comment box, and I'm happy to pray. And if you are a person that loves to pray for other people, type that into the chat box. Just type, I will pray too. I'll pray and know the truth for us. That would be wonderful. This is a ministry where we get to do that. We don't get to see each other in person, but we can see the images, we can see our name, we can see the comments, we can see the little hearts, and we can surely pray for one another. It's one of the gifts of the Spirit. So thank you all. Have a wonderful holiday. God bless you. Hey, Sachi, I see you right there.
Sachi, hey Sachi, quieres decirle chao? Bye. Love you.
Sachi just turned 4 years old, and she's such a smart girl. And she has who is that friend you have there?
¿Quieres decirle? This is her Curious George, and she really wanted to show you her Curious George.
I'm so happy to see Curious George. Yeah, and I see, yes, he's waving. Hi, Curious George. I'm curious too. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye for now.